Well, it is Monday. And I guess
Another Monday.
it's another Monday on this date in history. We're going to go there first this morning.
All right.
It was the 10th of February. The year was 2004. It's alleged that the future world of a lot of people would be changed. And unlike many of the political changes that are more often than not for the worst. This change was then and remains today and forever one of the best changes ever to happen. It's the day when a tiny little baby girl slowly made her way into this world at Onslow Memorial Hospital and into the hearts of every person she's touched since. From Abby, from me, from the plethora of critters next door to you, Allie. A happy 21st anniversary of your birth, 21 years ago. My God, I know where I was at that time. Abby's granddaddy at that time, one of them, he and I were shopping at the pawn shops. Well, literally, we were.
Happy birthday, Allie.
You know what? Yes. You know what Allie's doing right now? She's at the driver's license office with an appointment because she wants an adult permit to drive a car. I'm pretty sure I knew that until you're 21, your driver's license is vertical. Did you know that?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Really? Yeah.
Makes it easier to know that you're still underage in North Carolina. Once you reach 21, your license miraculously switches over to a horizontal format. In reality, since she was 8 or so, Robbie had her convinced that she was actually born in April. So she and Robbie had a thing for a bit, celebrating her real birthday in April. She didn't know any difference. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly Knapp. I'm Lee Barrows. And happy birthday, Allie. Yeah, happy birthday, Allie.
She got to celebrate twice a year. Every year.
All right.
February and April. Man, that was a day. Whew. Long awaited. And so anyway, happy birthday, Allie. Allison. I don't call her Allie. Uh-oh. Here we come.
About 8:45 tonight be her birthday, really. The very end of the day.
About as late as, I to get here, and then we waited.
So how you feeling, Candy?
Happy birthday, Allie. I hope you get your license. That's going to be disappointing if you don't.
Uh-oh. She's got to take the test.
No, she's got to wait in that long line.
Signs?
She's got to take. She got to do some of it.
I hate the sign test. That's stressful.
They get the things blurry. You can't hardly see.
Well, you just you get nervous. It's like a lot riding on that sign test.
Really?
Yes, it is a very stressful test. As a sign test.
Stressful for me. I got to go later on this year. I got a CDL that puts pressure on me, saying I should know everything.
Uh-huh.
Well, and you don't.
Right. Well,
I do.
Have you ever had problems with that?
No.
Okay.
My eyesight's going a little all the time.
They show you the signs that you never see on the road. Crazy signs.
That's why you never pay attention to them.
And the worst ones are when they show you the shape and nothing else. And so you're supposed to name what kind of sign
that is. An information sign.
Yeah, is it a stop sign or is it a what? But it's the pressure. It's not so much the content. It's the pressure that you're going to fail if you don't get it right. I'm telling you, it's stressful.
The only signs that bother me are the ones that say north when you're supposed to be going south. Those are the ones that bother me.
If I see a sign that says I'm going north, I know I'm going wrong. I don't turn around. I don't want to go that way. I don't ever want to go that way.
You ever do that? Get out on the interstate, you stop, go to the restroom, something, get back on, and you get about 15 miles down the road, and you realize you're going in the wrong direction.
I don't have to stop and go to the restroom.
No, but I've known people have.
Oh, I know. Wait, it takes you a few miles to know that you're going into oncoming traffic?
No, not oncoming. In other words, like say you
Yours
get
are
off
right
of,
lane, but you.
Oh, you mean you're going, like, if you're going.
say you're on
east
40
instead of
and you're
west.
going west
Oh,
and
yeah.
you pull
Gotcha.
off and you
Okay.
get back on, you get 15 miles down the road and realize you're going back east and you took the wrong
Oh, I see what you're
Ramp.
saying. Okay.
to get back on it.
Yeah.
I've heard stories, believe me. Might be family members involved.
Rest of y'all out there, in case you drifted off, did not care to watch any part of the big game last night, passed out at the big party, just got fed up because your team was losing, or maybe you didn't like the halftime show, we'll bring you up to speed. The final score was Dallas 22, San Francisco 40. Was that?
We got Abby,
Allie,
No, wait,
Dallas.
that's not even. It
Okay.
wasn't even.
Y'all know what he was. Philadelphia got 40 points. Surprised everybody that they beat the Chiefs by that much. They were supposed to, well, they were supposed to lose by 1 point. I think the official was 1.5 points.
I really
I'm still trying to
expected
figure
it.
out where they got that half point and what some of the odds makers.
No, you're thinking high school now, Rayford.
Super Bowl 25
Lord help
has
us.
come. It's left the dome. Some people were happy, others were sad after it was all said and done. It's become a huge, huge event, one that players, coaches, team owners, most everyone from sea to shining sea gets into. Some fans make a little money by betting on the team that wins. Others lose money by picking the other team. Odds makers in Sin City had the Chiefs up. The Eagles were 1.5 point underdogs. Still trying to figure that half point. For those of you, anyone out there, tell us how you place your bets on something this important. Do you analyze all the information available? Maybe including what individual players had for breakfast yesterday? Or do you just bet on your favorite team because why? That's the question today. I'd like to know. We want to know what motivates you to put your hard-earned money on one team or the other. 910-333-0139. What's been your overall success rate for the past 10 years? How many wins did you get right over the last 10 years?
And do you need a new friend?
If you're in the 90 percentile range, I might give it a shot next year. I just need someone who can show me a surefire way to make some money again. Here's my number, 910-333-0139. If you're consistently winning, I'd love to know how to pick the winning team. That's where you come in, 910-333-0139. And let's go to the phones. Nope, hold on.
Hold on, Charlie.
All right, take 3. Charlie, you there?
I think it's cool that I call from a block number and you guys all automatically know who I am.
Because you're the only one.
Automatically, you don't know. Apparently, you don't know who I am.
You are the only one that calls from a block number.
Hey, how about America's sweetheart at the Super Bowl yesterday?
President Trump.
He's talking about
You're
Bill
talking
Taylor.
about, I thought you were talking about Trump.
No. The other America's sweetheart. The one that is like in her late 40s or early 40s that speaks for a generation that she doesn't speak for. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Well, I think you're talking about a 2-time loser. She lost in November. She lost yesterday.
Oh, Rayford.
How bizarre was that? Taylor Swift. She's probably, I don't know how many followers she has on Twitter or X. My gut says she probably has 200 million followers. Remember before Trump was elected, she basically came out and promoted, and she said, I'm a Camilla. I'm a fan, and if you support me, you have to support her. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I heard.
Yeah, that didn't work out too well. I got a kick out of how they panned to her during the Super Bowl. I didn't watch the Super Bowl.
Neither did I.
What's that?
I said neither did I.
Yeah, but I got a kick out of it because have you guys seen the they're called memes. I'm over 30 or 20. Actually, they showed her being booed, and she wasn't. She had no clue they were booing for her. She's an absolute joke.
They definitely booed.
They booed, and it's funny because I guess that when they showed President Donald Trump, my president, someone that I respect, obviously he has flaws. Every president has flaws. All of them they have so many dysfunctions. They're all disastrous. They've got positive and qualities and good qualities. But with what we're dealing with in the United States of America in the last 50 years, he's a really, I truly believe he's the best going forward. She's a clown clunk. She's a clown clunk.
I think Trump is probably on the right path if he can get things through. That, of course, you got to play a little bit of politics to be able to get everything through. We know that he's in his honeymoon period right now, so he's going to be given some grace period by even the people on the left because they're trying to feel him out and find out, "Ooh, is he going to destroy me if I come out against him?" But that's going to die off by midsummer this coming year. Then he's going to have to put up or shut up. And hopefully he'll be able to do it. Last time around, he did not. Because he thought,
I think he was thrown into a position of leadership that he was basically clueless.
Yeah.
Of where he landed.
Yep.
Come on, listen. I like all three of you, but if you guys were thrown to the presidency of the United States of America, you're going to get in the Oval Office and you're going to be like, "Oh, what am I doing? Why am I here?" But now I think he gets it. I think he gets it.
Yeah, it took an extra 4 years for him of being not in the office, but having a desire. The last time around, he just kind of got in there. This time around, he worked his butt off to get in there. That's the difference. He really wanted it this time, big time. And I think we're going to benefit from it.
Guys, I don't have any information in front of me, but do you guys know the whole controversy about men or actually even women competing in alternate sports other than their identity or gender, right? Like men competing in baseball or football or softball, right? You know what I'm talking about, right?
That's generally the case. Yes, men do.
Okay. It's really bizarre. They did a vote, and I can't articulate it, so it may not make sense, but every Democrat except two people said, yes, we want biological men to compete in women's athletics. 206 Democratic, politicians that are elected to office, they all voted for it except two. Every Republican said no. Isn't that bizarre? Like, I'm not sure if you guys have kids. I don't have kids. I'm looking at you guys right now online. My gut says you probably have a daughter or a granddaughter. I don't know what you guys have. But can you imagine, like, if you had a granddaughter or a daughter who's like 14 years old and there's a biological man, a male, competing against your beautiful granddaughter that is competing against gymnastics or swimming, competing against her, and you think it's okay?
No, I don't think it's okay. Now, I'm going to get serious just a little bit. And I said it back then. We had in this state of North Carolina back about 8, 9 years ago, 10 years ago, something called the bathroom bill, what they termed to be the bathroom bill. And it got the governor that we had in office at the time unelected, but he lost his re-election bid. But anyway, it would allow somebody of the opposite sex to use the other restroom. I said at the time, I will say it again today. At that time, my granddaughter was much younger, but if I had gone to the mall with her, for instance, and she had to make a head call, I'm standing outside waiting, of course, and then some dude walks in there. Y'all better find out what they got for food in jail, because that's where I'm headed. I'd have whooped up on somebody so bad.
Oh, yes.
So bad.
Agreed.
He might have been,
Can I ask you a question?
it may have become a hen after that instead of a rooster.
Do your two co-hosts absolutely agree that men, biological men, I'm going to put this blatantly, a biological little boy has a penis. Would they want a gentleman with a penis competing against their daughter?
No.
Ladies, you answer. Then let me finish it.
No.
No, but I have to say, my daughter played very competitive soccer when she was young, and they actually would scrimmage against the boys' team simply to hone their skills. They whipped up on them, but no, I would not want in a league for my kids to play with males. Absolutely not.
I personally, you started out, what you want men. I do not think a real man would want to compete against women on a women's team. I don't think he would want to compete with women on a women's team. Not a real man. Maybe losers in the men's world. Maybe losers in the men's world would do that, but I do not think that a real man would want to compete. That's my 2 cents worth.
No, I absolutely agree. I mean, first of all, testosterone-wise, we can all acknowledge that men are physically stronger than women. Women are beautiful. I love women. No, I mean, they're smarter than me. I love women, blah, 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 blah. No, not blah, blah, blah. I love women. I mean, I love your two co-hosts. But physically, they're just stronger than women. It's a biological fact. You can't say that's not true. Anyway.
Across the board, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, 100% right. Yep.
And you cannot make rules. You cannot make general rules to allow all men to be able to do that because powerful than some men. Okay, you just cannot. You cannot make rules for the exception. Yeah. You cannot make rules for the exception.
No, intellectually, intellectually, I do believe that women, a lot of times, they're smarter than men. That's go back and forth. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. You guys have a good day, but you guys, it's 206 Democrats voted that they said they basically said that men should be able to compete against women. Every Republican said no. That's so bizarre. They're an absolute cult. Anyway, you guys have a good day. Take care.
You too. And in Charlie's a question about Taylor Swift, she's got 94.5 million followers on her X account. And Trump's tweet last night, the only one that had a tougher night than the Kansas City Chiefs was Taylor Swift. I thought that was funny.
Poor baby.
Okay,
Back to the Super Bowl just for a second or two,
Okay.
Oh, no.
I don't really care who wins or loses unless I drop a lot of money on that particular team. Interesting that I guess one of the only games I ever watched from beginning to end, there's been a couple more because I had a really good friend and he and I would get together Super Bowl evening and get a pizza and we'd sit around and watch the game for about 3 years. We did that and he passed away. But anyway, the only game that I ever remember watching from beginning to end was the first of what has become the Super Bowl. The year was 1967. The NFL champs, the Green Bay Packers, took on the Kansas City Chiefs, the winner of the AFL. I picked the Chiefs to win. Just as the game began, I have no reason. I just perhaps because I like the name, I don't know. The two teams squared off in the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum on the 11th of January in 67. That first year, featured during the halftime was the University of Arizona and Grambling State University marching bands, along with trumpeter, I will call him, Al Hurt. Y'all remember Al Hurt? No. Really?
Why do I know that name?
Jazz guy down in Nolens.
Yeah.
The band members aligned on the field to form shapes that symbolize America, including the Liberty Bell. These are two different bands, you understand? One from Arizona, one from Grambling State University. The first all-celebrity performance at halftime, 3 years later, 1970.
Okay.
When the show included, you won't remember her either, Marguerite Piazza. No name, huh? Don't get it.
Oh,
Doc Severinsen. Remember him?
Remember him?
I had lunch
Johnny
with him one
Carson
day.
show.
I had him with it. Again, they had Al Hurt, had Lionel Hampton, and the Southern University Marching Band. That was the halftime show. The two teams each did pretty well until the second half. That's when the Packers, led by quarterback star, shut out the Chiefs.
Wow.
A sad ending for me, a guy that could care less about watching sports on TV. Maybe that's why I don't particularly care who's playing or who wins even today. So,
Okay.
it just come and go, whatever.
Well, I will say.
And I did not watch anything live last night at midnight or something. When I was getting ready to get up and go to bed, I turned on and looked at a couple of plays that I saw, and one interesting play, and I think it's maybe because of happened to be the dude's 22nd birthday.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It was amazing. He's
Oh,
the first one to ever do
dude.
it.
Yes.
On his
That was
22nd
good.
birthday, he intercepts and goes all the way.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that was a beautiful play.
What a heck of a way to celebrate.
Well, the commercials were good.
I
So
don't
I
know.
was just getting ready to
I
say.
had some favorites.
The commercials were
Yes.
good, and then the promos leading up to the game itself, like
Uh-huh.
with Brad Pitt
Mhm.
and some of the other actors, I thought were well done. Well
Yeah,
done.
Didn't see those either.
They
Yeah.
did a very good tribute to the victims of the New Orleans terrorist attack.
Yes, they did.
They had the families of the victims were there. They also had one of the survivors, and I know this because earlier in the day on ESPN they did a story about him. One of the guys who was very seriously injured, and his friend was killed. The Eagles, they were a diehard Eagles fan, and they presented him with a box to watch the game. They did a very, very touching story on him. But yeah, it was very well done. And then they honored the first responders. It was very well done.
Good.
Yeah.
And North Carolina was mentioned many times. North Carolina, the victims
Excellent.
of Helene, and then also the wildfire victims in LA. And they kept mentioning that. And to me, it just seemed like the whole game last night brought so many people together that were honoring America and honoring those that have lost things over, due to bad weather. It was very well done. The only thing I did not care for was halftime because I could not understand the rapper's songs. I didn't kind of get the whole thing. He's a Grammy-winning artist. Not one that I follow, but I just kind of felt let down during halftime. I mean, I want to see bring back Bruno Mars or bring back some of these other entertainers. I
will
love
say
Bruno.
with Kendrick Lamar's message, if you really watched it, was more about unification.
Yes.
He did a lot of red, white, and blue. He had Samuel Jackson being Uncle Sam.
And I love Samuel Jackson.
And he was trying to, I read a thing, his intent was to try to unify.
Yeah, I've read two sides of it,
Mhm.
Negative and positive. I don't know.
I was more impressed with it than some of the previous years people that had been on there.
Oh, definitely. But
I mean,
and it went fast, as Chris marks. It went really super fast.
The best thing I was trying to figure out, we sat around trying to figure out how all those people came out of that car. So what we were determining was it was stairs
False
and false bottom, because there's no way. But I mean, it wasn't in my opinion a bad, and I did appreciate the message. So
I did not enjoy it at all.
No,
I'm just more into more than just, he's a great performer. Don't get me wrong. I just couldn't understand anything he was saying.
Well, if you don't know his songs, you wouldn't.
I don't know his songs because I don't follow him.
Right.
I'm not into rap. Rap is one thing that I've never
You
been
do that
into.
at Christmas time, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Chris, good morning. How are you?
Sometimes, not much.
Good morning, gang. How's
Good
everybody?
morning.
We're doing fine. You?
I don't know any better. There'll be two of me. So, the Super Bowl, it's interesting. I did some research because I knew halftime would come up. Since 2019, the NFL signed with Jay-Z, a rapper, and Rock Nation. And how the halftime events are picked, Jay-Z's group has a list, and the NFL has a few people involved in it. And ultimately, Jay-Z picks the final performer. And it has to do with also the host city and their culture. And going forward, you will always see a rapper there. You will not see the entertainment that maybe a lot of Americans, and it's not age varied. I don't think it's just that's the genre that Jay-Z is, and that's what you're going to see. You're going to see rapper. Me personally, I said, here's the first thing that's going to turn me off, and it did. I watched the rest of NCIS rerun, figuring out the time for the halftime show. I don't need to see a bunch of guys grabbing their crotches and dancing, okay? I knew Michael Jackson did it first, but it was the immediate thing that happened. And I know that this was supposed to be a better show. It wasn't, in my opinion. And on Facebook, a lot of people are talking bad about the halftime show. But
And did you know that they do not get paid for the show?
Maybe they're getting paid what they're worth.
They do not get paid anything because the NFL feels the advertising they get prior to it, the many weeks, is enough compensation for them.
Oh, it is. Plenty of.
Yeah. But, overall, Rayford, to answer your question on that, how the half point, that's just for gambling, because if it ended, say, you picked the Chiefs by 1, and it ends up in a tie, that half point going to the other team, one of the teams, make sure that someone's going to win that bet.
Okay, so it's for gambling purposes.
Gambling purposes, yeah.
Okay, now I understand. Thank you.
You're welcome. So for last night, the Chiefs were 1.5 point favorites, but for analyzing the game, the Chiefs normally had the better quarterback and the better coach. Last night
He
they
was
got
distracted.
beat by a team with a better. Yeah, they had a better. The Eagles had a better offensive line, a better defensive line, and they got outcoached, and thus they won. And congratulations, Lee, and to other Eagle fans.
Do you think, Chris, that perhaps if the lady in question had stayed home, that the outcome may have been better?
No.
For the Chiefs?
No, had nothing to do with
really
it. They played
enjoyed-
like crap
Yeah.
Well, that's
They did.
because
because
The
they
lady
are
was there.
overrated. No,
There was also I'm sorry, Kelly. There was also a news story that came out prior to the game saying that a lot of sickness had gone through the locker room over the last 24 hours with a lot of the players. So I don't know if that played into it, but they just honestly got a beat down.
Well, I mean, and people will argue, and you're going to hear it, that all the complaints throughout the season of referee bias towards them, and when there was clear not referee bias yesterday, would show that people are starting to say. I heard it last night. This just shows that maybe they want that they're not the team that should have been in the Super Bowl.
Well, there was one touchdown where the ref ended up going against the Eagles, and there was some controversy over that one. It was in the beginning. And,
Yeah, but
I don't know.
His knee was
They
down.
both-
I
they
didn't
both
see his
had-
knee down
His knee was
on the
down first.
replay, but
Yeah.
But from that point on, everything was like, I would say, right on the money.
They got their butt beat, and
Yeah, they did.
they actually got embarrassed. I'm sorry, but sorry, Chiefs fans. But I mean, Eagles
Yeah,
came to win it.
Kelly, I wouldn't be ashamed. I mean, they did. They got beat down.
Mm-hmm.
They never recovered from the first half. You can't in a situation like that. And it was one of those games, one of those nights where the Chiefs had nothing go right. The Eagles had everything going right. And they were just a better team.
They were
And it
definitely. Yeah, it happens. And
So what?
You know-
What? Here's the way I will analyze it. All right, just based upon me, and me, me. Those Eagles who became very tired of all of those Chiefs from decades, hundreds of years ago, plucking their feathers and wearing it in their hats. That's the reason the Eagles won last night.
well, I think
It was get even time.
Oh my
No.
gosh.
All right,
You're
Chris.
killing me.
Oh my gosh.
Was it the best Super Bowl game ever? No.
No.
The
No.
best
It was
halftime
good,
show
though.
ever? No.
Oh no, definitely nowhere near the
Not
best
the best.
halftime show. No.
I didn't miss anything.
I don't.
I don't
Yes.
do commercials.
That's the
The
best
best part
part.
is the commercials.
Well,
were.
You know
that's-
what the
that's
best
a sad
part
thing to say then.
of the commercials were? That Elon Musk, everyone thought, I mean, there was word put out on social media that he was going to do some commercials about Dodge.
He didn't do a single one.
And there were so
That would
many
have been a waste of
people
money.
that were sitting there waiting breathlessly every single commercial,
Didn't have
waiting to
one.
see it.
Mm-mm.
It never happened. The
Nope.
only commercial that involved him was a Starlink.
Can you
You talk
imagine?
about
Can you imagine the criticism
funny?
there would have been from those of us who want him to save us money if he's splattered money all over a stupid commercial?
Well, I can
in a
say
Super Bowl game?
there was no politics last night. It was
Oh, well.
all about everybody just
Did you see
getting
pictures
along.
of Trump up there? Did they display pictures of him?
Only one
Only
at the
once.
beginning.
When he did the national anthem.
And
That
he
was
was
it?
saluting.
Yeah, he was
Oh.
saluting.
Yeah.
Did they talk about him during the whole game?
No, nobody mentioned him.
Well, I bet he's downhearted.
I only saw one of Taylor and one of Trump.
That's it. There's one of each only.
Yes.
Oh, well.
hmm
They stayed away from all of that.
Now, during the game, and that kind of made me happy that Kelsey didn't make many catches because that meant no pictures of Taylor, which is great. Because I still say to this day,
Oh my gosh.
there are more Chiefs' wives that they could show than Taylor Swift, who has, we don't know what her relationship with Kelsey is.
Who cares?
But
Girlfriend.
I don't. But it's all because they want to bring a younger generation of young women to watch the NFL, and whether it works or not, I've been in marketing. Yeah, it might be a couple of women watching the show, but
it's a game.
Sorry. Yeah,
Marketing is a
you know,
game.
overall, I'd also like to think, my own personal opinion, not a 2-week break in the game. 1 week. You got 1 week to get ready. Period. That's it. Get the game done in 1 week instead of a 2-week build up to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that sounds good.
That's me.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Anyway, have a blessed day, folks.
You too.
Bye. Let's go offshore now, out to 20 nautical miles. That's 23 miles for the rest of you. Rather challenging. Small craft advisory is in effect through tomorrow night. Northeasterly winds today, 20 to 25 knots, gusts to 30, seas 4 to 6 feet, 2 to 4 near shore. Sounds and rivers rough tomorrow. Northeasterly winds 20 to 25, easterly 15 to 20 in the afternoon, gusts, seas 4 to 6 feet, 2 to 4 near shore. You're not going to be able to get there. Sounds and rivers remaining rough, diminishing to choppy in the afternoon. Wednesday, northeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 3 to 4. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop. For the rest of us, weather in a word, as they call it, rain.
It's going to rain all week. Today, rain and then cloudy. High of only 45 with 10-mile-an-hour winds and 16-mile-an-hour gusts. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low of 37. Tomorrow, rain. In between that, cloudy, high of 48 with the gusts will be back. Tomorrow night, rain with a low of 40. And on Wednesday, chance of rain, 40%, and otherwise cloudy, a high of 55.
It was quite windy out this morning when I left.
Yeah.
I was putting out the trash. I was
Yeah, how cold does it have to be for the ocean to freeze?
I don't think I've ever heard of the
It has.
Alaska.
I don't know.
Investigators are trying to figure out why an inbound commuter plane crash landed onto frozen seawater
Mm-hmm.
Friday as it was coming into the Nome airport. The runway was covered in snow when it first passed over, and the pilot said he would fly around for a while to allow the ground crews to move the snow from the runway. At about 12 miles offshore, first of all, I'm trying to
Did
figure
he
out
get disoriented?
why would you go out that far? I don't know.
I think it was the
He's
weather
on a plot. He
conditions.
is on a track. The plane started descending. It disappeared from radar. Coast Guard, along with volunteers and emergency personnel, combed the area Saturday. The wreckage was found on one of the ice bloats, as they call it. A helo crew landed there and recovered 3 bodies. A Coast Guard spokesman Saturday said they would return later Saturday to look for the rest of the passengers. They did. The crews recovered all of the bodies, all 10 people from that plane. Now, aviation experts are investigating, trying to determine what went wrong that caused the plane to have problems. Plane, pilot, whatever. Of course, reminding you that other crashes over the last 2 weeks have investigators looking for answers there too. One of the most talked about, of course, is the commuter jet that collided with an Army Black Hawk helicopter at Reagan Field in Washington. All 64 crew and passengers were killed. A couple of days later, another crash to go with a young girl who had just been given a second chance. She recovered after treatment for a life-threatening ailment. Other crashes during the 2-week timeline also. And then the Alaskan crash, none of the others were fatal. Everybody, people are screaming and hollering, it's a conspiracy, things are going on, it's all Trump's fault.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so sick of hearing that.
I can't forget this whole political crap that started right after the first plane crashes. Trump, who's against everyone who wants to give taxpayers hard-earned money to other countries, some of that we don't even like. We don't like that money that's being given away. And as a result of that, he's responsible for those planes going down and for the deaths of all those people. In 3 weeks since retaking the office of president, he has put a halt to a lot of stuff, doing exactly what a majority of Americans wanted him to do. To say he ruffled the feathers of the swamp rats is an understatement. He assigned Elon Musk the mission, still trying to figure that out, but he did, of finding waste in government spending and to put a halt to that waste. Well, he has found a lot of waste in government spending.
Yes, he has.
More so than anybody wanted to admit. And the Democrats are having a field day. They're shaking. Never thinking that a fellow politician, even though he's a Republican, never thinking that a fellow politician would actually do something about the wasteful spending. They live on waste. What was scary is that a number of Republicans are just as upset as the Democrats. It's become painfully obvious that too many of those elected to high office really don't care about us, regardless of what party they're in. Big parties, fine wine, free trips all over the world. That's what Washington politics had been about for a long time. Junkets, they called them. Junkets to go see how that $1 billion that we gave to that company to grow some peanuts in West Africa, how that's working out. Like you can do something about it. What's so very sad and delusional are those who started blaming Trump and his reducing wasteful spending, saying that anyone who voted for Trump is in effect a murderer because the planes that crashed would not have crashed if Trump had not cut spending. Really?
That's vile.
I really don't know how to respond to people like that. No real facts can convince those folks, or should I call them fools, that their tinfoil hats are perhaps just a little too tight these days. Never let a disaster go to waste. That's what a lot of politicians do. They wait for a disaster to happen, and then they blame that disaster, including those wildfires in California.
Yes.
Could we blame the hurricane that's devastated Western North Carolina on Joe Biden? He was in office at that time.
That was
Or planning on Obama's part. Could it have been Obama's fault? How about maybe Bush's fault that he didn't do something about the war that would have, if he hadn't used all that money to fight that war, maybe we could have done something to come up with hurricane prevention techniques or something.
Well, there's always going to be a what if in all these speculations and all these conspiracy theories with everything these days, because that's just who we've become. I'm so tired of people saying that our military jets that are out practicing, and there's many of a day you can walk out and see the in the sky, people saying they're chemtrails, and it's the government dropping chemicals on us. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion on things, but
you really ought to base it on facts, though.
Let's look up the facts and talk about the facts along with the other. It's just amazing to me. Amazing. That's why I pretty much stay off of social media, except when I feel the need to go on there and make a post that turns political, purely political over a non-political thing. So I just.
Again, if anybody has got a surefire way of winning next year's bets on what team, how, I don't know which team will be, which teams will be there, of course, in the Super Bowl next year. But if y'all can tell me what I should look for as the season starts in the
It's no
summer, fall,
Different
whenever.
than you going down to the Circle K and buying a lotto ticket. What are your odds?
Zero. But no,
Yeah.
you know, I got one or two that I could pick a spread or whatever, right?
Yes.
So
lots of grids.
why can't somebody out there who's won like 10 in a row, one of you people has done that, why don't you share it with me? I mean, I need the money. I would like to have some money.
Well, they had a big contest at the end of the Super Bowl last night. You download the Fetch app, and they gave 120
God.
people $10,000
And you
apiece.
did.
Heck yeah!
And then how many emails are you going to be attacked in?
They don't have my email.
You got your telephone number?
Yeah, I'll just block them.
Good luck on that one.
There's several people from North Carolina that won $10,000.
Good for them.
Yeah. Hey, it's worth a try.
Any
What
of
I
them
could do with
named Brown?
$10,000?
I figured.
I kept sitting going, like, pick my name.
A young couple over in Duplin County are spending some quality time right now behind bars.
hotel.
Deputies and Warsaw police arrested them after a U-Haul truck was stolen. Braxton Taylor was charged with stealing that truck. He's in jail without benefit of bond. Wonder what else they got in mind for him. Carrie Taylor was charged with possession of the stolen truck. Her bond is $15,000. Not sure if the two Taylors are actually related. Duplin deputies received a number of tips about the truck being operated in various locations of the county last week, leading them to a residence in Kenansville. Comes back to mind here. If you see something, call the police. Suspicious, a U-Haul truck. I'm not sure why they thought this, because they didn't share that with us. That's good. But somehow it was operating suspiciously, according to a whole variety of people who called the police and got them. Gotcha.
Wow.
Here's one. L.A. Los Angeles.
Oh, go with it.
The wildfire czar.
Mm.
Y'all need to pay attention. Chosen by the LA mayor to handle recovery efforts following the devastating fires over the past couple of months, was going to get a pretty good paycheck until residents and the media found out about it. You want to know what they were going to pay him for his 90 days worth of work?
Can I get your list to guess?
Yeah.
90 days worth of work.
Yeah.
And that's just to determine what caused wildfires or how not to have them.
Just to head up the recovery efforts.
Okay. I'm going to go with $200,000.
You would be wrong.
I want to say
Mayor Karen Bass
Almost a
had to
million.
back down Saturday after it was revealed that Steve Soboroff was being paid $500,000 for
Halfway
the
there.
90 days he was on the job. In real life, he's just a regular real estate developer and longtime civic official, and was appointed the city's chief recovery officer.
wow.
The $500,000 was not coming from taxpayers, not directly.
Well, where was it
It
coming
was
from?
going to be awarded to him from monies going to charitable organizations.
But that's so you're taking from the people that need it to pay this guy who's a real estate developer in California.
Oh,
You know how much money this guy's already making?
Uh-huh.
So did they agree they're not going to do this now?
After the big unveiling, Mayor Bass said that was not going to happen and that the Good Samaritan was going to handle the work out of the goodness of his heart. And wait!
Oh, bullcrap. He'll develop that real
And
estate.
wait, there's more. Longtime real estate executive Randy Johnson was to be compensated $250,000 from charitable groups for assisting Soboroff. But he too will now do the job for free. That's what the mayor is doing to set things straight.
That mayor is so horrific.
Politicians do not police themselves, y'all. They do not police themselves. When did you find a politician
She's
finding
not going
problems and going in and fixing it? Doesn't happen. It would have been politics as usual had an article not shown up in the LA Times Saturday. The mayor's office declined to name the charity organizations or clarify how the funding was raised. Something They used to say it's rotten in Denmark. Something is rotten in LA. Good morning. Who's this?
This is Marty Thompson. I was going to give you an update on driver license.
Let's hear it.
Is Allie
She
have a horizontal
got
license?
them.
Yay.
She got them and no signs, no nothing.
She didn't have any signs?
She didn't have to take the sign test.
Okay.
I like it.
She needs to go back.
Good for her.
I thought they had stopped
She was
doing
the
that,
first,
but I
she
wasn't
wasn't the
sure.
first one in line, but she did have an appointment. So she
They don't when I go.
hopscotch. Everybody there didn't have an appointment. Was their first one in there.
So
Yay.
she's celebrating. Good for her. She
Good
got to
for
work
her.
today?
And she's
Good. She should have to.
her and
No.
your daughter, my wife, her mom is at Chick-fil-A getting something. They're probably heading to work now.
Okay,
Well, did
that's
she
good.
get a real ID? Because you can't fly without one as of May.
Yeah, she got one.
Okay.
Good for her. There you
Fly
go.
with a passport without it.
Everything
Yeah, but not
worked
everybody
out.
has a passport. Yeah. Awesome.
Well, that's good. I'm glad for her.
Yeah, me too.
Now she can chauffeur you guys around. You're going to.
Exactly.
She needs to get her CDL too, don't you think?
Yeah, more study and more stress. That's
Yeah.
what we want.
Yeah,
Mhm.
just keep her busy. And for those who don't know, Allie is also this year. She's heading up
So
the.
what?
She's heading up the Dancing Stars whole
That's
deal.
right.
Mm-hmm.
She's the chief cook and bottle washer, right?
She's in charge.
Good for her.
Exactly. She did a great job yesterday.
Very good.
Yeah.
Good
Yes.
for
She
her.
said she was nervous, but she sure didn't act like she was nervous.
Well,
Good for her.
she comes
She's
from good
got-
stock. She's
Yeah, I
all
was
right.
just going to
Mhm.
say that.
Mm-hmm.
She took over from her mom
Yes.
to handle the whole Dancing Stars deal, and
Mhm.
some changes have been made already, which is good. We'll hear a little bit about them. And in fact, later this week on Thursday, we're going to have one of those people who's been chosen to dance in the studio here. We're not going to tell you right now,
Very good. Yes.
but he's going to be here not for that
I know,
purpose, but
I
for
know.
something else. It just happens to be really cool that he's going to be here,
Right.
Awesome.
so we get to bash him.
Love it.
He seems to be all right, fella.
Another one of the Dancing Stars from 2012, the first year. He's going to also be joining us that morning.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to be fun.
Good.
We're going to double time this man.
Oh, yeah. I can't
We're
wait.
going to hear it in stereo.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
boy, do you know what you're in
Yes.
for?
Already warned him.
Yep, too late now. You can't back out.
I know. It didn't take long to
He's
snag
sick that
him.
day.
Yeah, can't be sick. You can't. No excuses. So anyway, we'll be talking
All
to
right.
him this week.
But this is the make it or break it test with him.
Yeah, we're yet. Thank you, Marty. Congratulations.
All right, see you later.
Now you need to take the rest of the day off.
Now, I have a whodunit. Me and Lee have been laughing about this all weekend. In Pennsylvania, we have a theory, by the way.
Oh, yes.
So a truck, or back of a trailer, I'm sorry, in Pennsylvania that was carrying 100,000 eggs for
Oh, yeah.
has been, the
She
eggs have
sent me
been
this.
stolen.
It's worth
And
$100,000, y'all.
distribution tra- And Lee and I
Grand
are
larceny.
fully convinced there's some guy on the side of the road selling
Selling
eggs out of
black
that
market.
out of
50
his
cents
truck.
a piece.
Yeah.
Get your eggs here. Half
I
price.
mean, 100,000 eggs, that's a lot of eggs. And if
Uh-huh.
you don't have a cooler to store them in, because this is one of those like cool refrigerated like truck things.
well, if you hadn't washed those eggs yet, you don't want to put them
Well,
in the
these were
refrigerator.
like headed to a store.
The memes
Oh, the memes have
have
been great.
been so good.
So who did it?
The police are looking.
They're
They have no
doing
clue. They say it's a real
exactly.
whodunit. They have no idea who did it. Yeah,
Wow.
they do not know.
How did it?
Um,
Oh well,
but they
it's
think
I was like, what the?
yeah, they
gotta be an
think
inside job.
I don't know, but they're saying that they think it was, oh, this right here. I'm trying to pull it up. That they were saying that they think it's because of the price of eggs. Like I said,
Well, if they were a penny
this guy's
piece, who
on
would want them?
the side of the road selling eggs out of his trunk, trying
Yeah.
to make some kind of money.
If you see anybody with
Yeah.
a trench coat
Yeah,
stand alongside of the road and reaching into his inner pocket, he's
Eggs for
selling
sale,
eggs.
eggs for
we're
sale.
going. Hey,
Yeah.
do you want to buy some
Hey,
eggs?
I got
Yeah.
some good ones for
Yeah.
you here.
Yeah. And then I have another story, which is not a good story, but I had to read this. Well, I've been sitting here 3 times to figure out what this was. So in England, because a headline, you just read that headline. This is a headline which made me like, what? man's pop-up urinal death may never be explained. The family
but man's
fears.
what? Urinal death?
Pop-up urinal death.
Pop up. What is
So
a
he's
pop-up
a
urinal?
main. I had to look because I was like, "What is this?" He's a maintenance engineer. He was 60. He was in 2023. He was killed. It took 2 hours for the crane to lift the urinal off him. So what it is apparently,
What kind of
Are we talking like an outhouse?
No,
A porta
it's-
potty?
so it's like in the ground, and
Really?
it's designed to keep people from urinating on the streets at night. It's hydraulic, and it's like cement, and it comes up at night for pop-up urinals, and it goes down almost like a
So
I would
you're
say like a
walking around
manhole.
and you get to do your business just like you would normally do it, except it's a urinal there.
But it's a urinal, but it's
Really
like a round.
Where's this?
Here's a picture of it. It's that.
Isn't that why you always carry an empty pop bottle?
Well, this one is like it's like a round room, like it pops up out of. See, that's what it looks like.
Oh,
Was
Yeah.
there anybody stand around it?
No, you go inside it and the doors close.
And
you're in
look, it's right
privacy.
next to a porta potty.
Yeah, but you the guy, but it's hydraulic, so at a specific time they're all programmed to pop up out of the
Who
sidewalk.
invented this thing?
It's in England. They did it. I mean, I don't know, but the
Oh
same
yeah, they
people
did it with their healthcare money.
Is there that much of a problem with people urinating in the streets?
in Europe. Yeah, it is.
Good.
Yeah, and so it's like it would. The best way to describe it, you know what, like walk over like a manhole. So it would come up like that, the round cylinder. These are like they're like like
And
cylinder
he's going to
shape.
get in that?
A door opens, you go in there.
That's a big manhole.
Well, it's like a it's like a.
I thought those things were for Superman to change his outfit.
I know, right? Okay, look at it this way. Think of a phone booth
Yes.
that's cylinder shaped that you would go in. Well, anyway, the guy was working on it, and
Working on it.
yeah, he's an
Okay,
engineer,
so he
and
wasn't. Oh,
he
he
and
needs to get another. Well, he can't.
well, he
now.
can. He's dead, and it dropped on him.
Because of death.
Yeah,
Like what?
it totally dropped,
Fell on him?
and it crushed him.
Oh God,
And
that's
he
sad.
died of asphyxiation because it took him 2 hours to get a crane in there to pull it off of him. He was just trying to fix it. The whole reason this became a story is the family is convinced that they're never going to learn why it happened, like what
I'm sure
caused
they're
it,
not.
and they're upset about it. They're like, and they said the way he died is because basically he suffocated, and it wasn't.
Oh, I
instant-
wonder if it's something he did.
They just said they don't know why the officials.
Why was
are-
he in there working on it?
He was an engineer. It was malfunctioning at some
Okay,
point.
well, there's
yeah,
a clue.
they sent him in there to fix it or do some kind of maintenance or whatever, and they just said, but the family just wants to know. Tell us what happened, and they're not. The police are saying they just don't know, and even the police said last year, look, we admit we have not provided the family with the support they need. Because they just want answers because the family is very distraught because they were told how long. I mean, it wasn't a quick death.
That's weird. I've never heard
Yeah.
of such a thing.
I
as a
didn't know-
urinal that pops up.
I
out of
did
the
not either.
sidewalk.
And now it's kind of creepy. Now I'm going to be freaked out every time. When last time I was in London,
You don't use those, do you?
no, but I got caught up in a riot. But now I thought that was the worst thing you got to
You
worry
got caught
about.
up in a riot?
Yeah,
Did you cause it?
no,
Were you there?
was I there
Were you part of it?
inadvertently, but not trying to be.
So you could be arrested
I'm
for it.
standing there taking
Good thing
photos.
FBI's
Of
not
not
there.
of the picture of Parliament. They were protesting.
The FBI may still have your name.
they can
Interpol
go-
may be for you.
Y'all do it because we got out of there quick. Yeah. So, but then let's go to the Super Bowl commercials, Lee, because I know Rayford didn't watch them. But you did.
Oh man, they were so good.
I did have some favorites.
Oh,
Okay.
which are-
Somebody
what's
didn't like.
mine?
Okay. One of my favorite, I love, and I do not, let me go premise this by saying I'm normally not a Ben Affleck fan, but
Mhm.
that Dunkin' Donuts commercial was great.
That was
So
good.
And they do one every
Yes.
year. Now, I think one of my top 3 favorites was Willem Dafoe and Catherine O'Hara's
Yes.
Michelob Ultra commercial.
Yes, that was good.
That one was good.
And Billy.
Oh my God, Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan's
reenacted.
of Harry Met Sally with the mayonnaise commercial. And that was, if you haven't watched it, you
That
need
was
to do it
re-
because it was
that
really good.
was good.
And then I loved, there was I liked the Instacart one where they had like, the Kool-Aid man, and
Yes.
that one was cute. But I actually did like one. It was what I would call kind of a serious one. The one where they talk about lifting up girls in girls sports.
Yes, that was
It was
very
really
touching.
good. Yeah, it was very touching. It was very good. And it was about body shaming.
Yes.
Like, the little girl's running. She's 3. She's running down the sidewalk, cute as a button. And they talked about how in 10 years, she may not be participating in sports anymore because of body shaming.
And the
was
cancer
a real-
commercial with the little boy.
Oh, the cancer commercial was sad. Made me cry.
Made me cry too.
It was a good one. The one with Seal, I have mixed feel. Like Seal, the singer, had his face on an actual Seal body.
It was
I was like, this is. It was so dumb. I liked it. You know what I mean? Like this, we're all like, this is dumb. But then again, like you just could not stop watching, and he's singing his little song, and it was.
the
weird.
entertainer Seal.
Yeah,
And
No.
yeah, it was.
You know his songs.
I was like,
you would know his
what?
songs.
Well,
Yeah.
give me
Yeah.
a look.
Kiss from a Rose.
Who?
Kiss from a Rose, a slow song. Rayford, they've been in so many movies.
Yeah.
I know.
Just sing a little bit.
I'm
or
not going to sing
hum
it.
it or do something.
But it was a Mountain Dew Baja Blast one.
Yes.
But he is actual. Oh my! I was like, what am I?
They had
watching
a
right
lot
now?
of top actors in these commercials, and
A lot of them. The Stella Artois with David Beckham and
Yes,
Matt
and
Damon
his
playing
twin
his
brother.
twin. That one was hilarious.
That was good.
So there was some good ones. There was some like kind of lame.
the very first one with the little critter with the what was that little cartoon fella?
Oh,
And they were
Stitch.
chasing him. Yes, and they were chasing him across the desert. Now that was cute.
I did not like, and maybe it's just me, the Ritz cracker commercial. I just did not like it.
I don't remember much about that.
It's the
commercial.
one that had Michael Shannon, the actor, in it, and then Bad Bunny, the entertainer, showed up. They're eating Ritz crackers. It said something about not smiling, and
Oh yeah. No, I
wasn't a
didn't
fan.
really
I
get
just-
that
yeah.
commercial. I know which one.
Now-
That's why
Martha Stewart with those that one was pretty funny too.
I didn't really like that one.
I mean, it makes you want to go buy. If you can dance like she did, it makes you want to go buy a pair of Skechers.
Yeah, well, we knew
And
it
you-
wasn't
you
her
bought that?
dancing.
No, I already have those
Gliders,
shoes. Actually, they
Skechers
are good
gliders.
shoes. I have to say, I have a pair of them. They actually are good shoes, but
My
I can't break
podiatrist-
dance
my
like her.
podiatrist took
Too
me off
much
of those
soul for me.
everything else, yep.
Yeah,
I love my
but
Skechers.
yeah,
But that my favorite one, I do think, has to be Willem Dafoe's and Catherine O'Hara's a Mick Ultra commercial.
that about the time you think that would end, it kept going.
And they were whipping everybody's butt playing, and they was like, we'll play you for a Mick Ultra. And they were playing like pickleball.
Mhm.
And they were good. It's really cute commercial. Now I have to say something that did come up in the Super Bowl commercials. Apparently they're trying to, wanting people to advocate, I guess. They're trying to start in all 50 states and for high school, for varsity girls, flag football teams. I'm here for it.
Okay.
And they're like, it's becoming a thing. And I mean, when I was in high school during Spirit Week, we had Powder Puff and the girls played, flag football and the boys were the cheerleaders. I played flag football all 4 years of high school on that team in Powder Puff. I was all about it. So I'm all for a girl playing flag football personally.
Okay. That's
I'm
not
here
a
for it.
contact sport.
No, not really. Contact sport for girls would be lacrosse
Mhm.
and soccer. My daughter had 2 concussions in soccer due to contact.
She didn't wear a helmet.
No, you don't wear a helmet in soccer.
Watch out, Theo. Here we come.
Yeah, I know, right? But
Theo, you're
anyway,
missing the opportunity.
but I
Go-
think the
go
flag
for
football
lacrosse.
thing, the
Girls
flag football thing was
lacrosse.
good. Yeah, so it was some good commercials. The Budweiser ones were a little bit disappointed with the horses.
But they finally brought the Clydesdales.
They did. They brought the
back.
Clydesdale
Have
back.
you ever
and-
been up close to one of those?
Yes.
Yes.
I've actually petted one.
Yes.
They
they're
used to come to the
huge.
Azalea Festival.
You go to
okay?
Williamsburg.
And
Mhm.
my dad took me because they told you where they were going to be,
Mm-hmm.
not during the festival parade or anything else.
Right.
And you could go by there. And He took me by. I was about that tall.
They're big. Those horses are
Huge. Their
Huge.
feet were
They
bigger
are
than I
huge.
am.
Yeah, they are
Huge.
And I
huge.
was.
We used to go to Williamsburg and take our daughter a lot when she was little, and we'd always go to Bush
Mhm.
and then go see the Clydesdale. Beautiful.
They are
horses.
gorgeous.
They're
I have to say.
beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
I saw them in festival parade. I don't know, maybe in the early 2000s or sometime in the
Right.
1990s. So they
Yep.
were.
And you see,
they come back.
They brought back the Bud Light.
I
After
don't think Bud Light's ever going to recover. I
Yeah,
just don't.
I think they working it because they were so DEI'd there for a while, and
Well, people are still drinking it.
No, they lost a lot of sales
They
after
did,
that.
but they're
last,
still
yeah,
drinking it.
they are. I don't know why it's so gross, but yeah. So
I don't drink it.
don't mind a nice cold one every now, but I'm
No.
just not a big drinker
I don't
or
like beer
anything
at all.
anyway. But well,
No
I got one for you, Rayford
Just
and
shoot.
Kelly. Let's see what
Oh.
I know what your thoughts are going to be on this.
okay, let's hear it.
Tomorrow, New York's top court is set to consider whether documented non-citizens can vote in New York City elections.
Well, they're doing it on the West Coast. Why not do it on the
nearly
other
a
left coast?
million potential voters would be allowed to participate in elections like the mayor contest if Democrats prevail. What's your thought on letting documented non-citizens vote in your city elections?
Documented.
Documented, but they're non-citizens.
I'm not.
No, I think a citizen should be the one.
Well, first of all, what does the Constitution in New York say?
Good question.
Does it say that only citizens can vote?
Well,
Or does it say residents can vote?
let's see if we can find out.
So that's the first thing you'd have to be doing.
No, I just don't agree
I
with
don't.
that.
I don't agree with it. But I'm not living in New York. I'm reasonably sure that we would have a problem here in North Carolina, in most parts of North Carolina, if they tried to pull that.
No, I'll have to look that up. But just a thought. I mean, what does their Constitution say? Political.
Are you singing over there?
That wasn't me.
I was like,
I know it was her. I've never ever heard her do that ever.
I was like, where did it come from?
I know.
It was
What
like
was what was her motivation there, Kelly?
I don't know. Like I'm not
it was
sure
my
what's
version
happening.
of Jeopardy. Dun, 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 dun.
I didn't know you could sing Jeopardy.
I agreed.
You
Are there
can-
words to Jeopardy?
No, it's just a tune.
Are there songs to the Jeopardy tune? Or words to the Jeopardy
I
tune?
don't know.
Did
I
anybody
don't
ever
watch
thought about it?
Jeopardy. I've never cared for Jeopardy.
Oh,
Maybe
oh my
it's
God, I
because
watch
it
it every
makes
night.
maybe it's because it makes me feel dumb.
Oh, that's my
I don't-
show.
I sent you a right cute joke over the weekend.
I know.
And you actually liked it.
I did like it. And that,
Is it fit for consumption?
I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Shoot.
New York City's own measure became law in 2022. It allowed green card holders and individuals with work permits who have lived in the city for at least a month to cast ballots
A month.
in municipal elections.
We could come and we could influence them. Just bring the folks from Ireland over. We could elect whole Irish.
Interesting. I can tell you what, that's not going to happen here.
I think you need to be a citizen because you can't go to other countries as a non-citizen and vote in their election. Why should we allow it here?
No, they won't. They'll cut things off.
Yeah,
They
If
try
they're
that.
non-citizens, are they paying taxes?
Well, I think it depends. Well, it depends on if they are
Here on a work visa.
here on a work visa. Yeah,
Well,
because my brother's
we've got people that are citizens of the United States that are working in other countries.
Mhm.
They're not paying taxes in other countries.
That's true. I didn't when I
And then they also, under certain conditions, not paying taxes in this country.
Mhm.
We have a comment on our Facebook about the Super Bowl
Yeah.
from a gentleman. He said, I'm 65 years old, seen a lot of Super Bowls, but this one, in my opinion, will go down in my history book as the worst. First, the national anthem was horrible. You don't mess with my national anthem.
don't.
Leave it alone. And I agree with that. Secondly, the halftime. I didn't understand a word of that performance. It was
That's-
horrible. But
didn't
the
hear it, I
game
didn't
itself
understand it.
was interesting.
So for the game, it was a game. You went there to see the game, and I guess the football was okay.
The game itself.
The rest
was
of it
very-
is-
The game was actually
I
good.
The rest of it is just fluff.
I thought the whole night was good.
If you're gonna
I
go
have
watch a
to-
football game, watch a football game.
I have to agree with the remark about the national anthem. I think it should be sung as written. I don't think you should, though the gentleman, he did a beautiful job, but I prefer it to be sung just straight. And I think the best Super Bowl national anthem was performed by Whitney Houston when she did it. That was really good. And I will agree, I didn't care for halftime, but then I have to say honestly that it's just not my type of music. And I think the commercials were all good. And I like the fact that there was no politics, no DEI, no wokeness, all that in there. It was just football and back to football and apple pie.
But the president was there.
But you only saw him one time.
But you knew he was there.
So
First time a president's been at a Super Bowl, they said.
doesn't he
A
have the
sitting
right to go?
president.
Just not he.
No,
have
he
the right
does
to-
not. It's a waste of
Was he
government
supposed-
taxpayer money. Should have
I
stayed
think-
home and done some work.
I think he's been
Well.
working pretty hard over 80 executive actions
but
already.
how many golf games has he played during that time?
I know
He
he
played
played
golf
Sunday.
yesterday morning and played
That's right.
Tiger Woods.
See what
That's
I mean?
right. Tiger and his son.
Mhm.
Okay, here's the funny that I sent Kelly and Lee. But
I read it. I've heard that joke before. That's an old one.
Go ahead, Rayford.
Go
do it.
with it.
Okay, as the story
It's
goes,
cute, though.
at the last Democrat convention, there was this little boy sitting at the hotel entrance. He was selling puppies. Get your Democrat puppy right here, he would say to anyone that passed by. He didn't have much luck with the Democrat crowd, but fortunately, the Republicans were having their convention at the same hotel in 2 weeks. So he set up shop at the Republican convention, hawking Republican puppies. A news reporter saw him and recognized him as the same little kid that was selling puppies at the Democrat convention. So the reporter, being a reporter, said, "Hey, kid, weren't you at the Democrat convention selling those puppies? What's different about them now to be Republican puppies?"
Shame, shame.
"Oh," the kid replied, "now their eyes are open."
In fact, it was told on this show before.
Not by me.
No, somebody on this show. I remember hearing it on this show.
No.
It's been a couple years back.
I don't remember it. I didn't tell it because I saw it and I thought it was cute. Department of Health and Human Services canceled more than $180 million in contracts over 48 hours, including a nearly $170,000 contract for an Fauci Museum exhibit.
What?
Well, I thought, why would he get a museum?
I want a museum.
They canceled $180
too.
million in contracts
Mm-hmm.
in 48 hours. That's pretty good,
It's a lot, yeah.
including nearly $170,000 for an Anthony Fauci Museum exhibit. The Department of Government
museum
Efficiency,
exhibit.
also known as DOGE,
Mm-hmm.
announced in a Friday social media post. These contracts, they wrote, were entirely for administrative expensive, none touched any health care programs. This included terminating a $168,000 contract for a Fauci exhibit at the National Institute of Health Museum. Let me back up. $180 million in contracts, almost entirely for admin expenses. What kind of administration do you have? And what are you spending money on? $180 million. And who authorized a Fauci exhibit? At the
Where's
Nas-
it going to be?
It's not going to be.
No, but where were they trying to put it?
The National Institute of Health Museum.
I didn't even know they had a museum. Wow.
What?
Did you know, too, while we're on Fauci,
You, Kelly.
did y'all know that we were paying for a private security for him?
I did know that. And I don't know why I knew that,
Not
but I
any
actually
longer.
did. Oh, I agree. They shut that
He
down.
has long been a controversial figure and has often clashed with Donald Trump, of course, who last month revoked the taxpayer-funded security detail for the former director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases that was requested for him in 2020 as he became the government's public spokesperson during the COVID-19 pandemic. That, of course, is not the only target of wasteful spending. Coming or sweeping changes of the U.S. Treasury Department aimed at eliminating over $100 billion per year in entitlement payments to people who don't even have a Social Security number. We have scheduled $100 billion every year to be paid to people who don't even have a Social Security number. Who doesn't have a Social Security number in this country? A
legal one?
A legal Social Security number. There are people that have the same Social Security number so they can do things.
Yep.
I ran one of those one time. There were 15 people living in one little place in Philadelphia
With the same social.
with the same Social Security number. 15 different names. All the last name was the same.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't Smith. Who doesn't have a Social Security number in this country? And why are they able to claim $100 billion every year in entitlement payments?
Good question.
What for? I'm waiting for an answer. Who allowed this? How has this been going on for all of these, however many years?
And this is why you have Dodge.
And why did it take us to have some guy named Musk, Elon, who's getting no money for this? We hope. It better not be, because that's what they claim.
That
To
was
find this
debunked.
out, to find out that this is happening in this country.
Is Jennifer. Yeah, that was debunked. He's not getting any salary for it.
I just want, who doesn't have a Social Security number? And if he doesn't, how can he get all this money? It can't be one person. It's got to be a bunch of them for $100 billion. Hey, Jennifer, how are you?
I'm all right. I wasn't going to call this morning, but that it's one of those nerves, you know. And y'all know, and hit roadblocks and dead ends and brick and all that kind of stuff, and with the whole caregiver thing. Now, how is it that all of this money has been spent for all of this stuff? People that, and so right there shows it. Right there shows just how I had a nurse tell me when I told her, we ran into one of Terry's nurses one day. He had been out of the hospital for about a year. She asked how everything was going, and she asked about it. And I said, honey, we can't get anything. And she looked me right straight in the eye. She said, well, if I'd have known it, I'd have gone with you and helped you fill out paperwork, she said. And then you could have got stuff. She said, you didn't lie, did you? I said, no, I didn't lie. She said, well, and she was a blooming nurse at Vidant in Greenville. And she said, you're a lie to be able to get that stuff. And so that right there just goes to show they've got money. I heard that, I forget how many millions went to the concrete. It funded the concrete that built the tunnels under Gaza for Hamas. That the American taxpayer dollars went over there.
I haven't heard that one.
But yet, now I did. I've heard it from two different people. I've not seen it, but I have heard it. So I don't know. I can't swear to that one. But it's just, I don't get it. And all of this, they're screaming, how many people's going to die? Because the USAID or USAID, whatever it's called, well, I promise you that nobody's going to die because Andy Fauci don't have a display in a museum. I mean, they're saying, "Oh, it's so horrible. All these people, all this aid we're sending. That aid's not keeping anybody alive. That they're cutting,
Keeping politicians
and
alive.
it just do what?
It's keeping politicians alive.
Oh, you damn Skippy. And yeah, I said it right on the air. I don't know if I can say that
You
word
did.
or not.
Not a
but I
problem.
said it.
Jennifer, all right.
Skippy is a fine word.
Skippy's good. Oh my gosh.
But I mean, and that's they're going to keep. I heard a politician the other day. They said they're going to keep squealing, and the ones that squealing the loudest is the ones that's the most guilty, which they're all guilty if they knew anything about it. But that's just, I got to get off of here. I got too much to do today to get all worked up first thing in the morning. But,
Well, I'm glad I got your blood going. Circulation is my most important product.
Sure, Lord.
but that just, it irritates me that they can fund all of this other stuff, but they can't help the ones
Well,
that
here's your solution.
really
You need to
it.
throw your turn in your social security numbers. Just turn it in and say, I don't need this anymore. Can I have part of that $100 billion? I just, that's, I mean, that's about the only way to do things.
I'm pretty sure I told this, but a couple of years ago, I was on the phone with an aide to a North Carolina congressman.
Uh-huh.
And I told him point blank, I said, yeah, I said, but you know what the problem is? I said, if I rolled my pant legs up, went down there and waded back across that blooming river, I said, everything would be handed to us. And buddy, he got so mad at me, and we ended up hanging up and ending that phone call.
I would
But
imagine.
it's the truth. It's the truth.
Well,
y'all
that's
have a
part of the
good day.
problem. All right. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thanks.
Tell Terry I said, hey. Poor Terry, he's going to have to deal with that today, I guess.
She was wound.
I think that I think probably a lot of us around here need to do about what I want to do here, and that's to get a boxing bag, a punching bag, and put it up in a corner somewhere.
Yeah.
Here's something I had. You know how bars used to have these happy hours? A lot of business people would show up like at 5 o'clock in the
Yes.
afternoon.
Yes.
I wanted a concession
Mhm.
to set up a little corner in each one of these bars.
Right.
And for a quarter, you could go in and automatically punch, and it drops a punching bag down from the ceiling over in this little corner. You got 10 minutes for a quarter. I believe that during happy hour, after people have been frustrated all day long, you could make a freaking fortune.
You got flipping axes. Huh, Kelly?
Yeah.
No, well, axes, you have some other
That's
You
problems.
got an axe to grind.
Grinding on somebody's head is just not the right thing to do. Well, maybe in some cases, but we've got to get over, and you deal with people who are frustrated every day.
Mhm.
Well, I have people actually get punching bags
Do
for
they?
their home.
See,
Yeah.
I was
even had
ahead of my,
kids do
I was
it.
ahead of my time.
I've had kids do it, and it is amazing
Therapy.
how therapeutic a punching bag is.
So we need one in here, don't we?
Yeah.
We get one
It's
that's
good.
on a stand and then get some boxing gloves. My brother has one, and I like to mess
No,
with
you
that.
just don't do
I'll just
boxing
go to
gloves.
his
Just
house.
use, just
Well, you
wrap
don't
your
want
hands.
somebody.
No.
Yeah, but,
Just wrap your hands.
well,
with a
the
little
kids are
cloth.
just. It's easier for them just to put the little gloves on and hit it. But yeah, it's very, very helpful. You don't want anybody breaking their fingers, or knuckles.
It's good cardio
Yeah.
too.
Well, I'm broken
Yeah.
too. So
Well,
what?
we're not trying to do that. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know it. It was done.
Mm,
Well, others when we were having issues.
that'll do it.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, you know how they're saying that one of the reasons, or one of the main reasons, eggs have gone up is because of the bird flu.
Bird flu, yeah.
And they killed off 20 million chickens. I don't know if people
Yes.
realize that.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, now in Nevada, the bird flu variant has shown up in cows.
Oh,
Um,
God.
So I have two
So
questions.
they go get rid of the eggs.
Are
Cow
they
eggs?
going to kill
Carry on.
are they going to kill cows now and
Well,
raise the price of beef?
I'm going to become a
now,
vegetarian.
Is this bird flu / cow flu or whatever they're going to call it?
It's a bird flu variant.
Is it curable? Does it run its course like the flu in people?
I want to know, do the cows have to wear masks?
Yeah. Well, what they're saying is what happened was it's a strain of the bird flu that apparently replicated itself
I
to
saw
attach to other
something like that.
animals.
Right.
And now what is weird, like I had this vision that popped in my head, and
Uh-oh.
apparently one worker in Nevada, he works at a dairy farm, has screened positive for H5N1, which I guess is
great.
what they're calling it. And they're saying it's the first human infection in the state of Nevada of this
Bird
variant
flu.
of bird cow flu. What is weird and
Like
what I'm saying
cows fly.
gave me a visual. They're saying his symptoms include red inflamed eyes, and they're saying or conjunctivitis. Now I had a vision of just like in the zombie movies how their eyes get like blood red, and like that's what I'm visualizing here. Yeah, Raven's up here putting eye drops on his eyes.
I know, Kelly, mine's been hurting right there.
But it's just like
it red?
I had this. No, it's
Oh
not
my
red.
God.
But it's this visual of you get these in the zombie movies, the guys with the red bloody eyes.
I watch those apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, I do because I have to. But I mean, what I'm wanting to answer your question, Rayford, it doesn't say that H5N1 virus D11. Good Lord, that's the bird chicken flu one that has had 2 severe human infections, whatever that means, because they've not mentioned any kind of symptoms, and one person died from it.
Well, that would be a symptom.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the bird,
Yeah.
they killed 20 million
But
chickens. So my
Again-
question: are they going to start killing cows?
how
Because
about people?
yeah,
Beef
that's right.
school.
If the person
Yeah.
gets hurt, are you going to kill the person? Like,
Now,
I have questions.
And again, but seriously,
yeah,
if flu, we get over it sooner or
Correct.
later,
Right.
except the extremely weak, they die. Right?
Right.
But can they get over this bird flu? Can not people, but can the birds get over this? Can you just
I don't know. They're just killing
isolate
them
them?
off.
Can you isolate them for a year or
I hear
3
you.
weeks or whatever and let them move
I-
on?
I hear you.
bet there's a lot of people starting their own little chicken coops.
Well,
in their
people are going to be
backyard.
scared to do that because
How can you make sure
how-
they don't get the flu?
I was going to say, how do you keep
What are
your
the symptoms?
Get an egg and hatch it. I don't know.
people down the street have chickens, and I'm just wondering. I don't know.
I couldn't have them. My little dog would just.
Oh, my
terrorize
daughter's
them.
dog would kill every chicken in my. Yeah, I would never. Not
That's
gonna do
Charlie
it.
again.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you what, though, bringing up the egg stuff and the story you sent me, the memes,
The
on
memes
the
of that have-
shortage of eggs has been so
I don't
entertaining.
think people ever ate that many eggs until now.
Because
Well,
they
you
can't
It's
know-
get
like
'em.
toilet paper shortage
Did you
that we
see
had.
what I sent you all on the egg prices?
Yeah.
I was in Food Lion over the weekend. Now I went in there Friday morning, and I took pictures. A dozen eggs was $6.89,
Yeah.
and I usually get a dozen and a half, 18, and they'll ask me why.
That'd be $8.
$7.99.
Yeah, it's $8 after
And I'm
tax.
like,
yeah.
What?
Well, I got
But the shelves were only half full. I
Well,
tell you
some
what.
stores no, I don't know around here, but I did read that some stores are limiting how many
Yeah, so-
eggs you can buy.
I saw that.
Yeah, I saw it
whatever store
Saturday.
I went into
Yeah.
about 2 weeks
Oh,
ago.
did you?
Or
Okay.
last week or whenever.
Yeah. So
Fortunately, I don't use a lot of eggs, but so and what I have used with them.
well,
so,
now you got to because you don't know what's going to happen. You got guys stealing. Maybe we should steal an egg truck. We should have our own supply.
There's one Facebook where a guy went to open his egg carton. He had one egg left. His face like, oh my God, I have to make this count. And he carefully
Split it in
puts
half.
it in the pan, and he's like doting little dashes of salt and putting little pieces of cheese on it, trying to build it as big as he could
'Cause it's the only thing
in
that
order
lasts.
to make that one egg
I agree.
bigger.
Yeah.
It was just.
The word is, seriously, if you get the small eggs instead of the big ones,
Mhm.
Yes.
get the small ones, and you take them and plant them, they'll grow into bigger ones.
Oh, you stop.
Offshore today out to 20 nautical miles. Going to be challenging to grow. Small craft warning advisory is in effect through tomorrow night. Northeasterly winds today, 20 to 25 knots, gust 30. Seas 4 to 6 feet, 2 to 4 near shore. Sounds and rivers are going to be rough. Water temperature still kind of cold, so we'll start talking about the water temperature as soon as it starts warming up, and it affects the fishing folks out there. Tomorrow, northeasterly winds 20 to 25 knots, easterly 15 to 20 in the afternoon, gusts up to 30. Seas 4 to 6, 2 to 4 near shore. Sounds and rivers, they'll still be rough tomorrow, diminishing to choppy in the afternoon. And on Wednesday, Northeasterly winds 10 to 15, seas 3 to 4, sounds and rivers a moderate chop.
Today, cloudy, high of 45. Tonight, and 50% chance of rain. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low of 37.
Rain.
Yeah, it's going to rain tomorrow and
Rain.
Wednesday, and it looks like Thursday. Friday, it won't. So tomorrow's high will be 48 with 15-mile-an-hour gusts. Tomorrow night, cloudy, low of 40, and Wednesday, cloudy, rain for 55. So basically, dress appropriately, dress your kids appropriately. Temperatures are not going to be here this week.
No, you
Bottom line.
just get prepared again.
I
So.
think one
and
night
rain and
I
gross.
saw towards the end of the week, one night was supposed to dip down to 29. And I'm like, what? But see,
That'd be a heat wave. compared to
Mother
what we
Nature
had.
was messing with us last week.
I told you that happens all the time.
She can
every
be
year.
so minstrel.
Well, Friday will be 35 at night, but
She can be
Yes.
so what?
Never mind.
That's what I thought you said.
don't make her say it again.
I don't want to. Charlie, you're back.
You know, I hate the fact that you guys always know it's me
Because,
calling.
like I said,
Okay, then Sam, you're back.
Well, unlock your number
Yeah,
then.
yeah, and, you know, listen, I'm going to give your audience a great piece of advice
Okay.
when it comes to cooking and making eggs.
Okay.
Making eggs.
Mhm. Yeah, cooking
Yeah.
eggs.
Hey, do any of you guys have an air fryer?
Yes.
My wife does. I don't.
I do, and I love
So-
it.
Hmm.
I don't know how
I
to use it.
googled, I googled ways to make hard-boiled eggs. I made the most perfect hard-boiled egg. Set your air fryer to 300. If it goes to 275, perfect for like 2 or 3 minutes. Put an egg in there, a raw egg. Cook it for 10 minutes. You're going to get the most perfect hard-boiled egg. It's going to be soft. If you want it medium, cook it at 12. If you want it like heavy, cook it at 13. Here's the beauty about it. When you crack it, it's going to peel perfectly. I made it earlier yesterday. After you cook it, you put it in like ice water for like 2 or 3 minutes. The shell, it just smoothly.
I'm going to
slips
try
off.
it.
Okay, now can you do more than one egg at a time?
No, you can do like I only do one egg because I'm too cheap. I didn't want to like 4 or 5 eggs in. But no, the next time I'll put 4 or 5 eggs in. And by the way, everybody's talking about the price of eggs. Do you guys have a Costco where you guys live in your area?
We have one in
Wilmington. We got a Sam's here.
Yeah, we'd have to drive an hour to go to Costco.
Is it similar to
Yes.
Costco?
Yes.
Like
Very,
a
Yeah.
very much. Very
It's
much.
their competitor.
Yeah, everybody's going nuts. Listen, I have a Costco membership, and there's a sign up that says only 3,
3 dozen.
12. Yeah, they're going nuts. It's like COVID. But they're absolutely going out of their minds.
The toilet
They're like, I gotta get eggs, I gotta get eggs, I gotta get eggs, I gotta get eggs, I gotta get eggs. You've got 2 people in your family. Why do you need 75 eggs? Human beings are nuts. They're completely out of control. Just relax. Just take like 2, take maybe 12 or 24 eggs. Go home, enjoy your life. But they just go nuts. I don't know. Why do people go nuts in these times?
All you got to do is tell them they can't have
I
it,
was
or
gonna
it's
say,
limited. And,
yep.
It's the greatest. To me, it would be the greatest. How many times have you read limited, only one left?
And people go get one.
Well, look
yeah.
what happened with the gas.
Go to eBay anytime. If you're looking, I shop eBay and I'm looking for an item and I find this Wacky water that I need or I so desire. And it says, hurry, one left. How many people do you think will buy that same one that's left? Probably 50.
Oh, at least.
Because they're lying.
Kelly, you remember reading those stories
Yeah.
of people putting gas in trash bags?
And laughing. I saw it personally. I watched this lady do it.
Yes.
Yes.
When
in
we-
a plastic, like a Walmart bag.
I would arrest her.
Yes,
would
people were putting gas in all sorts of containers that are not made for gasoline and
saw it.
taking it
God.
home and putting it in their shit. That's stupid.
I'm actually impressed that you actually buy products off eBay. eBay died like 15 years ago. I don't know.
My
He
God.
loves eBay, Charlie. He loves eBay.
Well, first, it's not just because I shop for specific things. I'm into the electronics world. I do a lot of stuff, and a lot of things that not available anymore. For instance, you may recall about 3 months ago, we got hit by lightning, the 2 interface boxes we have here. We couldn't take any phone calls.
Mhm.
I don't know whether you remember that or not. These items that I've got are not made anymore. It took me a while. I managed to get one repaired. The other one was shot. And then I waited. I put one line on the air, and then I finally got the other one. I found it on eBay. But I had to wait. I kept waiting and waiting and waiting for it to show up. I knew it would, because some people will update their equipment. Not me. I like it. It works.
That is so bizarre, but it's true.
Here's in my opinion, why eBay is worse than Kmart's evil step. 5 years ago, I wanted to sell an item. It was a recorder that you could put in a VHS tape, and it would convert it into a CD. And it was like a random thing. I wanted like $120 for it, so I put it on eBay. And this guy from somewhere in Middle America said, "Listen, I'm interested in buying this product, but I'm confused. I'm concerned that it may not work." I'm like, "Hey, no problem. I'm an honest guy. How about this?
No.
How about I take it to?" Go ahead. What?
You didn't. Go ahead.
No. I said, "Hey, I don't know who you are, but I'm going to make a deal with you. I'm an honest guy. I'm not a shyster. I don't want to screw anybody. Listen, if I can make a buck, but I can be honest with somebody, says, here's what I'm going to take this electronic unit to a mechanic or distributor, whatever they're called. He's going to expect it, or she's going to expect it. I'm going to spend $20 or $30. They're going to tell you this product is perfect. You're going to get a great product." He's like, yeah. Sounds good to me. So like $30 or $40. I sent him the receipt. The inspector said it's a machine that works perfect. I'm like, cool. But here's the beauty about it. When you send it through eBay and you're a first-time seller like me, once the buyer gets it, they have like 5 or 7 days they don't have to pay.
Correct.
They can inspect it. So I gave him all the information. I'm like, dude, it works perfectly. I'm a nice guy. I'm not trying to screw you. I paid for everything. He had a notarized copy. It works perfect. I sent the unit to him. 3 days later, he writes me back and he goes, Charlie, there's a problem with this. There's a problem with that. There's a problem with this. I wrote him back and I said, listen, I basically said, I want to take my own life. You just keep the product. You can have it. I don't even care. Just keep it. I wanted to be a nice person. I spent the money for it. He screwed me. So I will never deal with eBay again.
Well, I don't, first of all, I don't sell stuff on eBay. I just don't have a reason to. But I find the stuff that I need, and I haven't found any problems. The only one I ever found a problem was when I inadvertently ordered it, and it was from a company that, unbeknownst to me, went out of business very quickly. The good thing is, for the buyer, they hold the money going to whoever the seller was, especially if it's a company. They're
right.
Strange companies. And then they refunded my money because they didn't have that TV set any longer.
Did you say you were the seller or the buyer?
I was the buyer.
He's always the buyer.
That's it. But you as the buyer, you seem like a very honest person.
I hope so.
A lot of people aren't honest. And they can just basically say, yeah, it wasn't this, it wasn't that, it wasn't this, it wasn't that. And the seller is screwed. I'm like, just keep it. I actually wanted to send the guy $100. Like, you know what? I know you're completely full of it. You screwed me. I wanted to be nice. I tried to treat you with respect. I had it inspected for you. I think you're a con artist. And a part of me just wanted to say, here's an extra $50 for your time. Just to screw this person. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
You didn't do it right. But anyway, go ahead.
No, what do you mean I didn't do it right?
What you can also do in an ad like that, particularly if you've gone through, you've verified that this is what it does. No returns accepted. A lot of companies will do that.
I wanted to say that.
Yeah,
I wanted to say that. That's why I said I'm going to pay. I'm going to pay for it to be inspected. I spent like $40.
Yep.
I had a professional inspect it, but eBay's like, nope. They can still say there's a problem with it. And I took a chance with this person. I'm like, I'm a nice guy. I'm not going to screw you.
Well,
whatever you want from me, I'll give you whatever you want.
A friend of mine that I used to work with, she had an Amazon store online, right? And she sold new stuff, not used stuff. But do you have any idea the people that would call, they would say it arrived broken, or it arrived, it had a scratch in it. It arrived, it was the wrong color. It's not the same color as the picture. And then they return it. And guess who has to pay for the return shipping?
The seller.
And then they're out not only the shipping cost, then they're out the money too. So, I mean, it costs them money. And she would probably, I think she ended up telling me 20 to 30% of all the stuff that she sold was returned at her expense. And, it's kind of like a lot of folks who will go buy, and not that I know anybody like that, will buy, let's say Kelly says, I really like that dress, but I'm not sure which color I want it in. She'll order it in one of each colors, and she will return all except the one that she likes when she gets there.
I never return.
I know, but there are people who do that.
Oh, I know somebody does.
I know
it.
that.
Makes
I
me
do too.
crazy.
Which one of you said they never return?
Me, Kelly. Yeah.
Oh, Kelly,
I don't
return
return
a
stuff.
lot.
No,
Listen, I admit it. Let's at least admit it. That's bizarre. You don't return stuff?
It's a hassle. No, but I have to say too, and I probably just jinxed myself with this. I've been very lucky to not need to return anything.
Because you ordered what you wanted.
Yeah, but I know I just jinxed myself now. I probably shouldn't have said that.
There's been a
You
few
screwed
things
up.
that I have
That's
gotten
done.
Yep.
that I've
And
returned.
you guys, you would be interesting. If you ever want to do an interesting show, Google how many consumers return items. It's $1 trillion.
I believe it.
I know so.
I got a friend that returns
No,
stuff like 8 times a week.
And listen. I'm an absolute piece of crap. Like, I bought a pizza at Costco. It was one of those pre-made pizzas, and it was pesto, basil, something. It was like $25, and I bought it. And I'm like, I don't want to. I don't think I'm going to like this. I took 2 bites out of it, and I hated it. It was disgusting. So what did I do?
I hope
You took it back,
threw it in
didn't
the
you?
garbage.
I returned it.
He
No, I
returned
returned it. It was 20. It was like $20 some. So when you look down at me for returning that item,
I would not return something that I bought just because I didn't like the taste of it. Because, I mean, that's on me.
Well, it's just a lot of work.
Unless there was something wrong with it. Unless there was something wrong with it.
Yeah, I
like
want
you
pizza.
open a box and it's been open or slices missing. I
pizza
just
now.
don't do that.
What are you doing for lunch, Kelly?
is there anybody in your? Do any of your hosts agree that if you were disgusted by it, you hated the taste of it, that they would not return it?
I wouldn't
I
return
just
it.
throw it
I
in the
would just say,
garbage.
well, won't be
Yeah.
ordering that again or buying that again. That's exactly
yeah.
what I would
won't
do.
return food that I've already
I don't return anything, so I definitely wouldn't do that.
put in my
You know
belly.
what? So maybe I've got problems. I think I have problems.
Well, I mean, there's people
I mean, there are
that
people like that, Charlie. Don't dish yourself, but
take a bite of a
No,
burger and don't like it.
but at least I'm admitting it. I'm admitting
I
it.
agree. You admit it. That's a good thing. But I know somebody that returned used underwear. This is so
No,
gross
you
to me.
can't do.
So gross
You can't
to me.
do that.
Well, they did it, and it's
Nope.
just gross.
well, that's not returnable.
Mm.
Better
I don't know
not
how
be.
they did it. I just can't. Yeah.
Well, how many times have you been in a restaurant, you ordered something and you started eating it and it was absolutely terrible? Have you ever asked the waiter to bring you something different?
If it was terrible based upon
Oh, I've never
they
done that.
fixed
I've
it
never done
wrong, something wrong, that's one story. But if it's just something because, okay, well,
It didn't-
I went to
Mhm.
K&W cafeteria. I don't know whether you have those out there or not, Charlie. But
K&W.
K&W. I went there. This stuff this one product looks so good. Meat and onions and gravy. I mean, I'm a Southern boy. I'm like meat and onions and gravy. Look good. I didn't know
Yes.
it was liver. I don't like liver.
Oh,
It looked good. It tasted like liver. I don't like liver, but I put it on the side, went back, got something else.
Yeah.
I'm paying for it.
I
Not a
understand
problem.
that. I would do,
It's
yes.
just, that's a meat problem. I wish they'd put a name on it, what it was.
Right. Well, let
Let me ask you this. Go ahead.
I was at a restaurant one time and I ordered like chicken wings and I like mine pretty done, because I don't want them to be slimy. And they brought a dish and I started eating them and they were slimy. To me, they weren't done. And I said something to the waiter and they brought me another dish. Done. Didn't charge me for it. And I appreciate that. But something like that, if you order something and they bring it to you and it's just not right for anybody, then yeah, you should return it and get something in place of it for free. But
I like French fries. And Charlie, when I go to a place and not at a fast food
particular.
place, because I try not to go there anyway, but I go to somewhere where they're going to cook the French fries as part of my meal. And I say, I want my French fries burned. And they say, burned? I said, yeah, make them extremely crispy. I like them like potato chips. And I have had several times when the server would bring it to me and she says, this does not look as done as what you described. You look at it. If you don't like it, I'll get some more. And she said, never mind. I'm going to go get some more anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the way a good server does.
Right.
She intercepted my, and I didn't have to ask for it. She went and did it. And yes, I would have some.
You guys, obviously, you're very smart. You can read the callers like me that call into your show. In the last 20 years, if you had to guess how many times I sat down in a restaurant and ordered a meal, how many times do you think that has been?
I have no
Not
idea. I
often.
can
You
guess how
don't
many
sound
times
like
I've
the
eaten
go out
meals.
to the restaurant type.
What's that?
You don't sound like the type of person that likes to go out to restaurants to eat on a frequent basis.
So if you had to guess, how many times do you think I've gone to a restaurant, ordered a meal, and tipped the server?
And tip the
And
server?
how long?
Yeah, in the last, let's say the last 20 years.
Oh, that's about impossible to predict.
Once a week? Do you go out to eat once a week?
No, I'm just asking you. From what I'm telling you, what I'm asking you, in the last 20 years, how many times do you think Charlie has gone into a restaurant,
12.
ordered a meal? And how many?
12.
Under 100? No, I can't guess.
I don't know what you do
I'd
for a
say-
living, Charlie. I don't know what your work. I mean, at one time, if I was going to eat, I had to go to a restaurant to eat for lunch or dinner, one or the other, because that was the schedule that I had. But now
Well, let me ask
I don't
you,
go very often.
Let me ask you, how many times have you been to a restaurant in the last 20 years where you ordered a meal and you tipped it? 4 times, 20 times, 400 times? How many times?
In 20 years, let's see, I
20.
retired in 2010, 9.
200, 400.
Up until then, I would have eaten at least one meal a day. I don't know, probably several thousand times.
Okay, you said so. You've been to several thousand restaurants in the last 20 years, correct?
I've eaten several thousand restaurant meals in the last 20 plus years, yes.
Okay, I would say in the last 20 years, I've eaten maybe 3, maybe 4 years at a restaurant.
Wow. Are you a takeout? Are you a food person?
No, I used to work in restaurants. I know how disgusting work in the restaurants are. I know specifically how gross restaurants are.
What did
Now,
you do?
Guys,
What did you do in the restaurant?
Go ahead. What's that?
What did you do in the restaurant? What kind of work
I
did you
wasn't like
do?
a cook. I was everything from a busboy to a server.
Mhm.
But I just don't trust people touching my food.
Mhm.
I'll walk into certain fast food restaurants. I'll look at the people working there, and if I glance over all the people working there and I judge them immediately, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna eat here. I'm gonna walk away.
Okay.
What's that?
I said, okay,
Here's the only.
I could do the same
Here's
thing.
the only place that I eat. I eat it. I live in a place. I go to In-N-Out Burger. Have you guys ever In-N-Out Burger?
No, we do not.
No.
Have you heard of it?
I
No.
have not. In-N-Out Burger. Oh, wait a minute. Wait.
I don't.
Is that something that I heard like Carson discussing one time?
Carson?
Yeah, In-N-Out Burger is like a California restaurant.
That's what I
fast
thought.
Food. Yeah, it's they have a religious background to them. When you go there, all the employees, it's clean. It's super clean. You just know they wash their hands. You know that the food is top quality,
Mhm.
and it's just Anyway, it is what it is. So.
Okay.
Wow,
Do you guys have
interesting.
what's it called, Shake Shack, or were you guys live Five Guys?
We have 5 guys.
We've got 5 guys, yes.
Yeah. So I've heard of that. Is that a place that you frequent?
No.
I have never been there.
Have you guys ever been to a place? I've never been to this place, but I want to go. It's called the Waffle House. Have you been to the Waffle House?
We have them on every corner.
It's
Hey, guys.
a good friend of mine says he
You
goes there
gotta-
every Saturday morning because he's got the leftovers from the night before there, and sometimes they have fights. He just goes for the entertainment.
Yeah, Saturday Night Live. They did a great sketch. You got to look it up sometime.
Mhm.
It's about this couple in front of Waffle House. They're breaking up. In the background, there's a scene inside the Waffle House where everybody's just killing each other. But the couple out in front of the Waffle House, she's trying to explain to him why they can no longer be together. She loves him, but she doesn't want to have a relationship with him. But what goes on in the background of the Waffle House? It's hilarious. You got to Google it. It's really funny.
I'll take a look at that. But anyway, yeah, I've heard all sorts of tales about Waffle House. I eat there probably once every 3 or 4 years.
They're not.
You got to Google Saturday Night Live and Waffle House. It's beautiful because it's like these two teenage kids. She's like, "I really love you. We've just grown apart. We're just two different people." But in the background, they show people in the Waffle House restaurant killing each other. And it's very funny.
It sounds like a good skit. Probably very accurate. You guys
have a good day.
Thank you, Charlie. Bye.
Well, here's interesting. He brought it up. At least 30% of all products ordered online are returned, compared to 8.89% in brick and mortar stores. The cost of retail returns in the United States reached $817 billion US in 2022, with a quarter of it coming from online retailing.
Well, that's probably how the post office stays in business these days, is not just the packages that are shipped via the post office, those that are shipped back via the post office, right? So that's double dipping, don't you think?
Let me tell you, though, I mean, if you're an Amazon shopper, Amazon has made it so easy to return packages now. All you have to do is go online to their website, say, "I want to return this." They email you a barcode, which you can just keep on your phone or whatever. You don't even have to wrap the package. You go into a department store like Kohl's as a participant. You go in there, show them the barcode. They take the package.
But you got to drive over to Kohl's, right?
But you also get like a 15% off coupon to shop at Kohl's.
So that's the cheapest form of advertising they can do, right?
CVS, Walgreens have package return points.
Well, good for them.
You don't have to do all that, weighing your package or getting a return slip and then trying to package it. You don't have to do any of that anymore.
I'm looking around here to see if there's anything back here ordered that I haven't used. I'm going to
Now you have to do it within a certain amount of time. You can't do it several years later.
There's a gimmick attached to this whole product.
You're going to know when you get the item within a week or two whether or not you're going to
return. Before the days of online shopping, when you had to actually go back to the store and to return it, and you had to give a reason for returning it, yada, yada, yada. The day after Christmas was the most fun day to be in some of these stores.
You would never see me.
Yeah, baby. I was there, and I used to assign myself to go over there to do a story the day after Christmas for the returns. It was fun. That was better than the before Christmas shopping. Yeah. Told the story before. I asked one lady. Now you got to understand, this is the days cameras were real big. TV cameras, right?
Remember TV stations used to go out to.
But you couldn't. You knew bloody well that this guy standing behind me as a reporter was a TV guy, right?
Right.
And that little microphone with a flag on it that had the channel number on it. That was kind of a clue too, right?
Yes.
So I said, "Ma'am, you're returning this?" She said, "Can I talk to you?" Sure. I said, what did you get? And so she held it up I said, "I've got it in this bag. I'm getting ready to return it. It was a Christmas gift. It's for my husband." I said, "What did he give you?" She pulls it out and she said, "Isn't that about the ugliest thing you've ever seen?" Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh my gosh.
I hope your husband's not watching TV tonight.
Hope all your friends didn't tell him.
Oh, you'll guarantee that. I got a call one time. I went to the fair, county fair.
Yes.
Public area, right?
Right.
Shooting just some background video, right? Got a call the next day. I was going to be sued.
Why?
By the guy who was there.
And what was he doing?
He was there with the woman that wasn't his wife, and his wife saw it.
Oh gosh!
Wow. You just did yourself in, dude.
Well, there's dumb criminals, and then
there's stupid ones,
and then there's stupid people. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. That.
Oh, the funny.
So much I could say about that.
Oh, I had a lot of fun with that, but he didn't like it. He didn't like it that I was laughing. A federal court yesterday on Sunday, a federal court. I didn't know people worked on Sundays like people in big places like that. Issued a temporary restraining order that blocks the Trump administration from sending 3 Venezuelan immigrants that are being held in New Mexico right now to the Gitmo Bay, Cuba detention camp as part of the president's efforts to remove illegal immigrants from the United States.
I was ready to go pitch a tent in the judge's yard. Moving
Lawyers for the trio said in a legal filing that the detainees, quote, fit the profile of those the administration has prioritized for detention in Guantanamo, i.e., Venezuelan men detained in the El Paso area with false charges, they claim, of connections with the TDA gang. False claims. He said they're false charges. Anyway, and right now they've already picked up a bunch. I think they dropped off 10 of them from the TDA gang the other day down in Gitmo. Yeah, good luck getting them back. They're there. They're picking them up, and let's see how many flights carrying the detained illegal immigrants had been sent to Guantanamo. They've got a number of them that are gone, and whatever. So, think of some nice razor wire they've reinstalled down there. Looks like some fresh stuff too.
Yes.
No rust on this. Cool.
You know,
Trump has promised to expand the detention camp. It's going to hold eventually up to 30,000 criminal illegal aliens, quote, criminal illegal aliens, those that are in this country like gangbangers, not supposed to be here, or have committed crimes, or both, committed crimes while they're in this country. What's wrong with people who don't want to send them out of this country? Get them out of our hair.
Yeah, instead of feeding them and clothing them and housing them.
Well, we got to feed them and house them and clothe them, but it's going to be in orange or khakis or something like that. And their food, leftover MREs. We're not having to use it so much anymore. So we got plenty of it stockpiled. We might even have some World War II C rations available. It's good.
We were talking before the show about the millions and millions of dollars that New York City has been dishing out.
Just in housing.
Just in housing. And feeding them.
I'm sorry. These guys, I believe in not being presumed guilty until after you're tried. But when you're in the country illegally, you're already tried. You came into this country illegally. Number one, you're now a criminal.
That's
right?
Broke the law.
That is a criminal offense. What other defense would you have if you crossed the border illegally? Well, because I wanted to be there. And that's not a defense. You broke the law. And then when you get into this country and you commit other crimes, why should we go to the expense of trying you for those crimes? We've already got you for illegal entry. Goodbye.
That's right.
You're out of here. We're going to kick you out now and don't come back. Because if you come back, the penalties are going to be very severe. That's what we've got to make clear to these individuals. If you return and we catch you again, it's going to be severe punishment.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
We might have some World War I leftover
It's
food.
time we took our own country.
We have got to own this country.
Yes.
We Americans, U.S. citizens, own this country. You are here at our invitation. You're not, otherwise you're an invading force, and we're not going to allow it.
The millions and billions of dollars that we have spent to house illegal immigrants, letting them come through the border, the fentanyl
And we
problem.
pay, my God.
And what would that money have done to help our people in the mountains that are still living in
What
tents?
about all of these veterans
People
that we
in
have
LA.
who are having issues? I mean, they've come back to this country after they've fought or after whatever,
Veterans
or
with
for whatever
medical.
reason. They're here and they're living under bridges.
Right,
They're living in the
yes,
woods
in the
and
woods.
shelter halves, literally. They're existing. Some of them because they want to be there because they cannot live in society because they can't get the treatment that they need.
Well, how about our veterans that can't get proper medical care?
We've
I
got
try to
that
make
all
an
over
appointment
every
with the VA, and it takes months and months and months and months.
And, none of that is acceptable. Hopefully here in Onslow, we're going to have a new
Yes,
veteran centers coming up soon, right?
that's right. They're
Okay,
building a new one.
We got to get more information
I just hope
about that.
it's more than just a
Yeah,
walk in and
but
talk to somebody at a desk.
It needs to be for real.
Yes, it does need to
So,
be. I'm tired. When my dad was alive, I was taking him to Fayetteville for appointments.
That's 100 miles each way.
We'd go to Fayetteville because he was supposed to be getting new hearing aids. So we went to Fayetteville, and the first trip was to clean his ears. And okay, second
Really?
trip was to make a wax impression to make the hearing aid. Third trip was to test the hearing aids to see if they needed to be adjusted. The fourth trip, they moved us to Wellington, and that was to go in there to pick up the hearing aid. Now, all of that could have been done like
2 trips.
clean his ears, make the wax impression, order the hearing aids, go back, test them, fix them, pick them up, and go. Done.
Bureaucracy
Yeah.
is rampant in this country.
Yes, it is.
From the time you get involved with any government group, there is a bureaucratic process. You're not streamlined to go to the head of the line. You're not. There should be no line. First of all, make appointments, get in, get her done. You should not have to stand in a line that's going to have you walk circling the building. If you've got that many people that need the services of this particular, whatever this organization, this group is, I'm going to use DMV just as an example. I don't think they've got that big a problem right now. They did have for a while. But whatever agency, whatever government agency, if there are that many people needing services that they have to stand in a line around the block, then you need to open up another facility or expand the one you've got. How many DMVs do you think are in Wilmington? I'm just curious. To get driver's license, to get motor vehicles.
2 or 3?
There were at least 3 at one time. I don't know how many there are now. How many we have here? We got 1.
Yes, right, 1.
They're doing a good job over there, by the way. I had some dealings over there, and it was great. I had no problem. But if we are overloaded here, no, maybe it's because Wilmington leans to the left a lot, and they get a lot more than we get around here. Now I've got it figured out.
Something just came out.
You know,
about
the sheriffs and states and cities and counties, law enforcement, they've all been, not all, many of them have been told, do not help the feds in anything that the feds want to do. There's been this mentality that's been developed by cities and counties because they're fighting any efforts by the federal groups to arrest, to detain, to deport, to just take them off the streets. And they're saying, no, sanctuary this, sanctuary that.
Theo.
It's just wrong. It's just wrong.
I've got to get our senator, our North Carolina senator, to call in. They just posted a bill in the General Assembly in North Carolina. And he's one of the primary sponsors, and it's making some changes to the Board of Motor Vehicles and to study the creation of the Motor Vehicle Authority. And I'm going to get up with him and see if he could at least call if he can't come in.
I do like the fact that they've got it so that I can go online. It takes me a matter of 1 minute.
Oh, yes.
Because they've already got my stuff on the file.
Right.
So if my tag is due, then I just click on, here's the payment. Then they've got, hey, you want to use the same one you used last year?
Well, I don't know how I've gotten away with for so many years having the same picture.
I've got my driver's license. I'm a motor vehicles for license plates.
On my license, but on my license
just a couple
plate.
Minutes here. Theo, how are you?
Hey,
Hey.
Listen, the new DMV, is that private or is it government?
It's all private.
So can you get the person who's running it to come over here? Because there's long lines over there. Maybe they show up in a second. And why did they give it to a private one? Didn't they learn the lesson from the last private?
No, I think this is pretty much the way it's done across the state.
And who do we know who it is?
I do not know who's got it now.
I do. I heard the
maybe
name.
you can get that person in here and tell us about it.
I heard
It's a private company. I doubt it. They've been private since I know the 60s when I've been buying license plates here.
Because the lines over there are pretty long. If you can recommend him that he can open another one.
I think personally, I think they needed a bigger facility than the one that they chose.
And the half of the cars that are in the street.
Yep, that's the other problem. They don't have parking. The other one, they had parking. They had plenty of parking there. And they had moved from the first one that they had. Well, not the first one, the one before that. They moved to the location that they had before because of parking and everything else. They were able to add more lines and do all sorts of add more clerks and do all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a dog eat dog world out there. Private contractors, I think they can probably do it better than the government agencies. I don't know than the government itself. DMV, the driver's license office, of course, is run by the state. I mean, that is it. They don't have private contractors there.
Right.
Um,
Well, see if you can get somebody in here to ask some questions.
all right, we'll see if they'll answer. See if they'll come in and talk. Okay, Theo, thank you.
See if you can come in here and talk and tell us what the story is, who they are. Because tell them we had some bad players before, and we were out of DMV because of them. And we don't want that same problem happening again. Let's see what they're all about. Okay.
Okay, we'll talk to them. And
Okay, good.
Theo, did you watch the football game yesterday?
I did.
You did?
Wow. Were you happy?
It was entertaining.
I'm talking about the end result.
Yeah, that's it. I was a Giants fan, so I'm with the NFL. And Kansas City is halfway across the country. So why would I go for them when I got the Eagles on the East Coast?
Because Kansas City's got some great barbecue.
Okay, we're not talking about barbecue now. We're talking about football games.
All right. Anyway, thank you, Theo. Glad your team won.
Okay, listen, what was that all about on Friday? That 2 hours? I turned it around at 8:00. And I turned it off. I didn't know what you were talking about. I didn't know what the whole thing was about. And did you ask Logano what he thought about the FBI and what's going on right now? Do you agree with it?
No, we did not have him in here to talk about the FBI. He's going to come back to talk about that.
Yeah, but all right, you don't have the time. But I didn't get what that thing was all about. And
okay, it was about a guy that was who was arrested. In 2016, was it? Or 2015? Whatever. Anyway, he spent 6 or 7 years in jail, never having a trial set, never going to see the judge, never having his day in court. And then when they finally got around to it, it seemed like one investigator, he took it upon himself in 2 different counties. One county investigator from another county investigated in 2 different counties and came up with a bunch of charges for him that, guess what, were dismissed when they finally got to see the
So he never had a lawyer. His family never got him a lawyer.
They had lawyers, and they were somehow or another things were just not working right. We had him in here to lay out his
additional rights.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care.
And a lot of people have talked to me about that story
really.
Friday, so it's good. I'm counting on something coming from it. I talked to a gentleman in the media outside here.
Very good.
And he hasn't gotten back to me. I talked to him, told him what was going on, but I was hoping that I might have had a call over the weekend or maybe today, since everybody takes the weekend off.
It was Super Bowl weekend.
Us. I don't care. I was available.
Extremely interesting story.
It is.
It's just amazing to me. Well, it's shocking to me.
It could happen to anybody.
Sure.
You could be stuck away in a jail cell somewhere, and part of that time in solitary confinement, the equivalency of solitary
And that
confinement.
you could go 6 years and nobody did anything.
And the only thing you could get is a court-appointed attorney because you couldn't afford anything else.
Right.
And he was just forgotten about, except that they kept badgering him. And the bottom line was, from everything that I could get out of this, is if we keep him here long enough,
Right.
he'll break and he'll admit to something.
Yeah.
That's what I got out. And what I did not bring up here, Friday, this guy who was a lieutenant started out as a sergeant making this case, ended up as a lieutenant before this case was resolved, is now a corporal.
Yes.
And he's working as a school resource officer after being admonished by a judge.
There was one officer that worked for the state of Massachusetts that was very much involved in this case that I have been following for the last year. And he is now on indefinite suspension pending being fired.
And I'm wondering out loud whether this officer from this area is being sort of allowed to work out his last year or two in a
Could be.
position that he probably won't have any issues, so he can retire.
You know, it's very disappointing to think that anyone
Ruining a man's life.
in a law enforcement capacity or in a court capacity could do wrong, which affected somebody else's life. But I'm learning more and more these days that things like this do happen here and there.
Yep, it does.
And
Which should not happen here.
Right.
Keep it in New York or Massachusetts.
A lot of these
California.
cases, and I've
Okay,
seen more
if
than
y'all,
one case.
if y'all want to look at it again, but you need to look at it from the very beginning.
Yes.
Started at 7:00 last Friday on Facebook or YouTube. So you can check it out both locations and take your time running it. You'll need to take a couple bathroom breaks from time to time. Everybody in
Right.
here did except me.
Yes.
So
I didn't.
no, you didn't. But anyway, you may want to take it a look see at
Right.
it, and at some point in time, we'll if y'all want to just get on and let's chat, we'll do it.
It was extremely interesting. I'd like to go
It's
back.
disheartening.
And yeah, I want to go back and listen to it again because when you hear it the first time, your mind's like, what? What?
It's hard also
Yes.
to really wrap your hands around everything that was said. And yes, we went an extra hour.
Yes.
But it's really hard to tell a man's 6 or 7 years of his life in only 3 hours, to be honest with you. And we didn't have any commercial breaks or anything else.
Mm.
So y'all take a look at it sometime. Do it in a couple of sessions, but don't do it 3 days apart. Sit down and look at the first hour and then come back after breakfast and look at the second hour. It's hard to imagine. First hour, the first 20 minutes of the first hour, 2 or 3 times. Full story of what
Yeah.
went down.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
we'll
agree.
see you tomorrow. Now,
All
we got a
right.
busy day tomorrow. Dr.
Yes, we do.
Greg Murphy, our 3rd District Representative, is going to be
Yes.
joining us by phone at 7:30 in the morning. And then about 7:45 or so, we've got, that's your turn, your cue.
You're going to make me say it. Dr. Penny Burlingame Deal.
There
She
you
is
go.
the CEO of Onslow Memorial Hospital. She's got some great news for us and wants to give us a report on the hospital and how it's been doing, that's our major go-to here in Onslow County. So
Okay.
we welcome her into the studio and anxious to hear about Onslow Memorial.
And tomorrow we'll talk about some of the other events coming up because on Thursday
Yes.
we've got a big day in the studio.
We've
here.
got our favorite, our
Favorites.
one and only Chris Miller, who is
Yeah.
the editor of sports editor for the Daily News.
Yeah, we may
And
have to get him in a little bit early or a little bit later. on Friday.
he's very
'Cause
adaptable.
we got a couple of other special guests in here.
Yes.
The
That's
chief and the chief.
confirmed.
The chief and the chief. How's that sound?
It'd be great to see
The chief and the chief.
see how
we'll see them on Friday,
they're
on
doing.
Thursday morning,
Yes.
beginning at
I love
7:30.
it. Okay.
Okay, tomorrow
Shoo.
we'll be here in 22 hours.
Yes, we will.
In the meantime,
Everyone
it's foggy.
stay
It's going to be nasty.
Right.
Be careful out there on the
Yes.
roads. Stay home if you don't need to get out. And we'll see you in the morning. You're
Mm-hmm.
live and local Real Talk, where we're always awake, never woke. Have a great day.